Okay, so I'm gonna go over how to grow a pineapple from scratch using a regular store-bought pineapple, as you see here. This one is a few days old. Usually you get them in the store, they're all green and stuff, so you gotta let them kind of ripen out a little bit, which this one's yellow. You can see this is what a ripe pineapple looks like. And this is what a ripe pineapple will look like when you let it vine ripen on the actual plant. But anyhow, one of the things first you have to look at the pineapple, you want one with a top. This is the part we're going to use here to grow our new pineapple plant. So when you're ready to eat this baby, just save this and we're going to go over. So again, back to this thing, you want to make sure that these inner leaves are in there. Sometimes you buy some pineapples where you get these inner leaves right here that they just come out. You don't want that one. That's not a good one. So whenever you buy a pineapple and intend to plant your own pineapple, make sure that these innermost leaves are on there and you see like little ones coming out, because that's what's going to grow out. See, these are good, nice in there, they're attached. So this is a good specimen right here. So what we're going to do first, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can either just slice it off right here, or you can just snap it off. So for this one, I'm just gonna snap it off. Actually, you know what? This one's not easy, so I'm gonna slice it off. I'm gonna divert to the slice because that one's a little bit tougher and I don't want to damage the plant. So at the very top, you slice it. So there you go. We'll put this aside. We're gonna eat it later. So you can see the uppermost portion. So then you want to do this if you can. There you go. This is the part we need. We're not done yet. You see, what we're going to do is we're going to keep slicing this a little bit at a time until we start to see some dots. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to slice it. No dot yet. I'm going to slice it a little bit more. And the dots won't appear until you get to this little green section right there. So I know I still got a little bit to go. So I'll slice it again. Still no dots. You'll know the dots when you see them. Okay, I'm starting to see one dot right there. You see one dot, but we need more dots to show. So, and eventually these are going to be peeled. These bottom-most leaves. You're starting to see some stuff right there. That's what's going to be your roots. So I'm just going to go one more slice. There, now there you clearly see the dots. That's when you want to stop. That's going to be your roots. So I'm going to peel these bottom-most because they're going to fall off anyways. And when you peel some stuff, you're going to see that there's more roots kind of hidden in there between the leaves. So you want to take these bottom ones out. And that's probably it right there. One more. Let me see a couple more. You see, that's what's going to be our roots. You're just looking at what's going to be our roots. So once you do this, all you do is get a glass of water, clear preferably, so you can see the roots, and you're going to stick this in the water like that. And you see what it looks like right there? That's a little bit too deep, so I'll probably have to remove some water. I want this to be sitting about right there. You look at the water level. About right there. That's kind of too deep. It might rot it out, so that's why you just kind of barely want it touching right there. And you just keep an eye on it every single day. And what this glass enables you to do is after a week or two, you'll start to see those little roots start to grow out, and eventually they'll get a few inches long. When you have a few roots that are a few inches long, you can stick it in some soil. preferably some good soil like the Miracle Grow, the wet stuff, the one that stays wet the longest, because the pineapple is a tropical plant and it needs constant watering. And then you're going to start to see this middle section start to grow out, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and soon you'll have a, well, 3 years later, 2 to 3 years later, this thing will be in a big pot and you'll have a pineapple that's going to grow, a brand new pineapple that's going to grow out here at the center. And that's it. And the pineapple itself won't be as big as the original. It'll probably be half the size at the biggest, maybe about fist, bigger than a fist, softball size possibly. And that's going to be your new pineapple plant. And so again, you put this by a kitchen window, somewhere where it gets some good light. And you're done. So I put it here in the kitchen window, and that way I am able to keep an eye on it and look and see when the roots are big. Okay, so it's been a few days, actually about a week or two, since I cut these tops off of pineapple. So you can see a couple here in different stages of rooting. This one, no roots yet, but look at this one. You see the roots starting to grow. So eventually I'm gonna let those roots grow. Okay, so I've had this pineapple top in water for about 2 months. It's actually a little bit too much. A month is a good time, but you see the roots that it grew there in 2 months. It was actually like that in about a month, but I just kind of been working a lot and really kind of didn't take initiative in planting it sooner. But you can see right there some good healthy roots from a pineapple top. And so I'm going to plant it, and this should give me a pineapple in about, well, my experience, 3 years from a pineapple top. I've heard that the pups, it's more like a year or less, but I still have to experience that. But anyways, here's my pot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the roots. I'm going to try to spread them so they kind of go in all directions. Oh, and by the way, when it was in the water, this part right here had like a little rotting leaves. So what I did is I just kind of peeled them so it's nice and clean. So I'll try to center it. I think that looks good right there. I don't know if you can see that. And then so I'm going to stack soil on top of it. And you gotta put some good soil here. I'm using Miracle Grow moisture control soil here, but it doesn't have to be that. It's going to be really tough trying to pack the soil around because the things that come up like this. So you just got to kind of lean it to one side, add the soil, see how it's leaning. Pack it on one side, and then just kind of spread it around like that. You have to be careful that the pineapple plant itself is not leaning to one side. So you have to make sure it's nice and even. And just gotta make sure it's enough, because they actually pull out really easy if you pull on them when they're still young. I don't know what a root system from a mature plant would look like, but right now they would pull out really easy. So I'm just about done here. And that feels just a little bit more, and I think I'm happy with that. So now you see what that looks like. So now I'm gonna add some water. I'm gonna soak it. Let me stabilize there. So I'm gonna soak this. I'm gonna make sure it penetrates all the way through. Look at that. After 3 years of growing, you see pineapple plant number 1, the baby pineapple number 3 that I've grown. There's baby pineapple number 4. So this plant is probably maybe 3 feet wide and maybe 1.5 to 2 feet tall. Here you see 2 other plants. You can see these are not, these all have a pineapple on them next year. These are 2 years old. You get the tips of them here, they start to kind of dry out. You just cut them to make them look nice if you start getting the tips like this. But there you go. That's my pineapple garden right there. And that's Joey barking. And there's a couple other young pineapples. These are just maybe a year old. Ouch! I picked myself. There's 2 of them. So it's October 2018, October 2nd, I believe. And you can see behind me, I have these 2 fully ripe pineapples, vine ripened. You can see their color, they're golden yellow. That's what a ripe pineapple is supposed to look like, not green like the ones you buy at the store. It's supposed to look yellow like in the cartoons. They have them yellow in the cartoons for a reason, because that's what a ripe pineapple looks like. You can see they're about softball size. Here's the other one. So these were my twins for 2018. They flowered they literally put out a flower in the spring. And you see each individual of these, each one of these little nub things right here is an actual flower that dried up, a little purple flower. You can see right there, and then eventually the flower, color goes away. Then you start seeing the little crown like you saw in the pictures previously, and turns into a pineapple. Then it'll turn green, and it actually takes a whole season. Like, I'm literally talking 3 months from flower to fully ripe. The flower came out in the spring, and the first day of fall was a few days ago. It's now October 2nd, so literally these sat all summer long and they matured until they turned into this golden pineapple color. And if you smell them, actually, let me get up right here and smell them. Ooh, such a great pineapple smell. I mean, these things smell like a pineapple. If there was a pineapple flower, this is what a pineapple flower would smell like. I mean, these things, they're putting out a very strong smell of a sweet pineapple. I can smell it from like 5 feet away. And it's an indicator that these are going to be very, very, very sweet and very delicious. And dessert is going to be this sweet, sweet, golden yellow, fine ripened, homegrown pineapple here. So, yep, this is what they look like. Just like in the cartoons, yellow and not green. All the ones you buy at the store, they're not ripe. They're actually green. And even if you let them ripen on the counter, they're not going to turn golden yellow like this. They're not going to put out a smell of strong, sweet pineapple like these are right now. I have a few other pineapples here in the bag. They're really big. These two were actually small in size, the actual plants. They're maybe knee high. You can see my knee. They're about knee high. So they didn't grow much, but they did put out 2 wonderful pineapples. So anyways, I'm gonna cut them, but first, before I do that, I'm gonna show you guys something. There you see in the background, you see a pineapple. I planted that one this year, so that'll be ready in 3 years. That's how long it takes, 3 years. These are actually in their 3rd year, but very well worth the wait. But you see that big one right there. This actually put out a pineapple last year. You can see the little stalk right there. I'm touching it with my middle finger. That put up a pineapple last year, but if you leave them be, you can see that they'll produce a pup. And this big monster right here is an actual pup of that other pineapple. It's at least, let me see, at least waist high. So here's another pineapple also from last year. This one, however, is even more of a monster. It's a monster because this one has 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that all? Is that all? 4. Oops, I see another pup right here. 5. There's 5 pineapple plants that are being produced from 1 pineapple that was grown last year. So you see a lot of people throw them away, but if you let them be, it's going to turn into more pineapples. And I understand that they don't take 3 years when they grow from pups. They grow a lot faster. So sometimes you can see when you're growing your pineapple, you'll get little tips like this that'll dry up. That's okay. You just kind of get some scissors and you cut them, kind of like I did right here. So it doesn't look so haggard. So that's just part of the maintenance that you have to do when you're growing pineapple plants. I've done this for many years. I lost count how many pineapples, but yeah, like I mentioned, you just take some scissors You cut the tips here at a nice angle to cut the dry stuff off. But the scissors ain't very good. But anyways, you know, that's so it doesn't look too haggard. You can see right here all these tips have been cut because you're gonna get a little bit of drying in the season, and so you just cut them off and they don't look so haggard. So anyways, it's time to cut these babies up. That's one thing that sucks when you take such pride growing plants like these. You don't want to cut them off, but you know you have to, otherwise they're gonna die. So anyways, so here I go. Some good loppers because the stalk is very strong. I'm gonna cut it kind of low. I don't know if you can see that. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. I'm gonna cut it a little bit low. And then there it goes. It has been harvested. There you see, I'm just gonna leave that right there, and that's gonna turn into 1, 2, 3, I don't know, maybe up to 4 pineapple plants, just like the one behind it. So, yep, here it is. Pineapple number 1 has been harvested. Very sweet smell. You ain't gonna smell no pineapples at the store like this. So now I'm gonna cut pineapple number 2. So pineapple number 2 is gonna be harvested now. Again. Ooh. And there we go. Pineapple 2 has been harvested. So there you go. The pineapple plant is still alive and well, and it's gonna give me some babies in the spring. And I have 2 pineapples here. Yep, there you go. Dinner tonight. I'm gonna keep smelling these right up until I cut them. I wish the scent would go through YouTube. So now that just became another plant that's gonna join the rest of my plants for the years to come. Is gonna give me pineapples. So that's it. I guess I'll show the video when I'm cutting and eating these later. All these were from pineapple tops. Okay, so it's now time to cut this pineapple and eat it. So here's, I already cut one up. This is the second of the 2. This is the better one of the 2. You can see still putting out a nice sweet smell. This has been in the refrigerator to kind of help keep it. And yep, the crown is really thick, really stiff leaves, which is good. You can see there's a little bit of serration right there. You gotta be careful with them. But anyways, let's cut this baby up. So I already know it's gonna be sweet, so let me cut the top off. Okay, there. I'm gonna put this aside. Get the trash out of the way. Actually, you know what? Why don't we just do this? Get it over with. Oops. There you go. You see dots. I'm just gonna do that. Remove the bottom 2 layers of leaves. And the process repeats. I'm going to put this in my window, put it aside, the process repeats. So as I mentioned previously, it's not going to be as big as the store-bought pineapples, but it's going to be better tasting. I don't want to let anything go to waste. Okay. So just when you cut it, make sure you go little strips. That way you don't waste a lot of the actual fruit. If you cut bigger, broader slices, you're kind of cutting away at the inner fruit and you're letting it go to waste. You can afford to do that with the bigger store-bought pineapples, but not with this one. Plus, it's so sweet that you don't want to let it go to waste. Okay, see, minimal waste. If you want, you can kind of, actually, I did a very good job right there. So, let me see this bottom portion now. Put it aside. Let me see. Let me get that. There you go. There you go. We have nothing but fruit. I'm gonna not let this go to waste. So okay. So now, pause it. Okay, just have to clean up the area here a little bit from this leftover, but you see there I got about maybe, I don't know, a little bit bigger than between softball and baseball size, but most, if not all of it is edible, even the core. That's how good and how ripe this pineapple is. The core is very, very soft. It's so soft that it is edible. So I'm just going to cut this into spears. Normally, with the store pineapples, you throw away the core because it's really hard and you just can't eat it. This one you can eat the core. There you go. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 slices out of this pineapple right here. 9 slices, and this is ready to eat. So, I'll put this here to give it an honorable death, but then I'm resurrecting it also. So now is the moment of truth. I will grab one of these with the core included. Absolutely delicious. Super, super, super sweet.